Hey Adam, how you doing? So far so good on the bank holiday front. Just preparing this pipe. What have you been getting up to? Hey Jim, how you doing? Hey Tim. Looking for the bowl and it's right in front of me. Hey Quaker Piper, you were in the other video? Yes, we have been very fortunate with the weather. Hope it continues. So tonight we're going to be smoking the Paul's Pipe Hybrid mix up, hash up, with Ian Walker Northern Briars. This used to be a very nice sort of a semi-church warden kind of pipe. Sent it into Ian to convert it to 9mm, and he had a bit of an accident with a shank. You can see that little line there. Somehow he managed to split the shank, and so he put a ferrule around it to hold it all together, and he had to make me a new stem. The previous stem that I had was nicer, and Ian did say he'll give me a new stem, but I haven't sent it back. Maybe one day I will. I've got a bunch of pipes to send him to convert, so maybe I'll send this at the same time. Yeah, nice plateau top there. Hey Razvan, how you doing? I take it you're back home. BA, what happened with your, I assume it's a Cuban you're talking about, Romeo and Juliet. Yeah, I must admit that over time I'm certainly favouring more traditional shapes. Hey Kirk, thanks for joining us from Florida. Why aren't you in Chicago? Yeah, I do find myself going for more traditional shapes. If you just have a look at my, hey Joe, look at that one, that's 7 pipes there, and they're all fairly traditional pipes, with the exception perhaps of the calabash from Ian Walker and maybe that Escorti, which is a bit pretty, but the shape is nothing revolutionary. But I'm definitely moving towards more traditional, basic pipes, no question about that. You definitely go through a phase of favouring, fancy pipes, nice looking pipes, whatever your budget allows really. But I'm now really going for pipes which are more likely to smoke better, definitely. I mean, this is, you don't get more traditional than this Parker Billiard High Tree. And this is one of my favourite smokers at the moment. This together with my Bentley. This Bentley by Former. It's got a lovely classic shape. The dimensions is just spot on, the way it's been carved. I bought this as an estate pipe on eBay, and it's one of my best smokers. Very nice pipe. Yeah, it's definitely tough there, BA, when you get especially a Churchill so decent size, you expect to get an hour and a half to 2 hours of good smoking, and it lets you down. I invested in a spear to clear blockages, but I've never had a great deal of success. I mean, the best that I get out of it is that it allows some air through, but it doesn't really end up as a good smoke. I'm sure you've seen the type of tools that I'm talking about. This one, the one that I've got, is a perfect draw. It's I mean, you can go the full length of a cigar almost, and it still won't improve it much. So this has got some serrated, really quite sharp serrated edges on there, and it does pierce the cigar, no question about it. But I don't know, I don't find that I really ever fully save a cigar. They rave about these tools, you know, but to me it's all marketing. Hey, how you doing? Iron Rails, Street Rods and Pipe Dreams. Sorry, I don't know your first name. I say the best that I've ever got, Alex. I can't recall a cigar that I've really saved and made it, you know, smoke well. Yeah, well, full bents definitely have their place. I do enjoy a full bent. The only drawback, I do clench quite a lot and I have a bit of a weak jaw, so full bents work very well for me in that respect. But I do find that the smoke gets in my eye a bit because it's quite close to your face. I think I saw you reveal that that pipe, that Nerup. My one, I love it. It does great. Mr. Miller, hey, Miller, Alex, is it? Yeah, I can go both ways still. I've been definitely enjoying a pipe more at the moment, the last few weeks. But I have my ups and downs when it comes to pipes or cigars. I did fancy a cigar earlier on, but I decided to. I think more people prefer to see a bit of pipe content. Okay, so I think I'm going to get started because I haven't had a pipe for a long time. Yeah, so we'll set that aside. And this one's ready to go. So let's open up the early morning pipe tree. Cool. Well, I'll give it another 15 minutes and it will be appropriate. 16 minutes and it will be early morning. So I had the 2017 the other day when I did the live in the local park here, and that was very nice. In my mind, I was definitely comparing it to 40th anniversary and 2014. Out of the limited editions, those are the ones I've smoked. I've had other McClelland tobaccos, but of these series, the ones with these very nice sort of labels, which I think is the limited edition series, is 2014. Now I've had 2017 and the 40th anniversary. And I've had some of the, obviously I've had Virginia Woods, which is the same series. But Virginia Woods I don't think is a straight Virginia. I might be wrong, but I think it's even possibly got some sweetener in there of some kind. So I don't think we'll call it an absolute straight Virginia. So the The 40th anniversary, to me, that's an amazing blend. I've mentioned this many times on my channel. I've come very late to McClelland tobaccos, and you know, people have been asking me in the last few weeks, is there another tobacco that I would recommend to replace McClelland Virginias? And I can't come up with one at this stage. I don't. I really haven't smoked anything which has that kind of flavour. So for me, I can only really compare it to that. So the 2014, 2017, and 40th anniversary. Those are the ones. So when I smoked the 40th anniversary, that one, as I said in my first impressions, it really blew my mind. Very full, very mouth-tingling sensation. Very, very impressive blend. It's amazing what they coax out of a leaf. Really phenomenal. When you compare it to, say, something like Full Virginia Flake, which is also a fantastic Virginia tobacco, really a purist's dream, really, when it comes to pure Virginia tobaccos. But you smoke them side by side, and they're completely different. I mean, it's almost as if you smoke some 40th anniversary, it's almost as if you're smoking something which has got loads of other stuff in it to give it those flavors. It's got such a complex flavor, in my mind anyway, and such a full, rich tang to it. It's really, I don't know how they do it. It's obviously in the processing that they do, and the fact that it's majority red Virginias, but it's just phenomenal. So when I smoked 17 the other day, 2017, I was expecting something similar, perhaps not as mouth-watering as 40th anniversary. They do say that 40th is the best one yet, and they've saved that to last, perhaps in having in mind that they might struggle to continue when they first started blending it. They've already been saying for a couple of years that they're going to struggle, that they are struggling to get these this type of quality red Virginia. Hi Maui. I got a ticket in the post. So it's bank holiday this weekend, so I can't pick it up till Tuesday, but I'm hopeful it's your package. It says international on it, so hopefully that's yours. So I'm looking forward to that. Where was I? So so I opened the 17 the other day, the 2017 Christmas cheer, and that was a much sort of smoother affair, much sort of more lower end flavours. It was still a Virginia, it was still a McClelland, and it still had that sort of McClelland vinegary kind of rich tang to it, but it definitely sort of settled down after a bit and became quite a smooth, any time of the day kind of blend. And it's very, very nice, but if you've got 5100, it's not a million miles away from that into my experience. And 5100 was available as a bulk, so many people have got loads of that out there. And so if you've got 5100, I wouldn't necessarily go chasing after 2017. That's my own personal how it came over to me anyway. So I'm hoping that 2016 is different, and we'll see how we go. So let's pop the tin. It's enough of a preamble. This has got a really, it's the initial crack of the tin, so you're going to get that vinegar from the off, that ketchup. We'll just let that settle a little bit. Get some of those aromas out. So it's a typical broken flake that you get from these Christmas cheer blends. So the ketchup is starting to dissipate, and you're getting sort of dried hay kind of aroma. A little bit zesty. It's got quite a bright kind of aroma. A little bit earthy as well. Alright, so we're just going to rub some out. Yeah, tomato ketchup. It's not that bad. You know, when I first got this, the tin of 2014 from Cynthia and Susan from Stutter, that's going back a couple of years now. When I first cracked it, I actually left it in my cupboard for a long time and I didn't open it, but I opened it probably about a year ago and I really didn't like it, and I almost gave it away. I think I did give, you know, packages of it away to people, little sample bags. Thankfully I didn't give it all away because I really love the stuff now. But that one's got a quite a rich flavour to it as well. It's not a million miles away from 40th anniversary, to be honest. And I'm hoping that this 2016 will be a little bit more punchy. Hey Jay, so I'm hoping that it'll be a little bit more punchy than the 2017. It'll obviously have an extra year on it, so that was should give it a little bit, at least make it a little bit more harmonious and a little bit more settled in. We'll give that a few minutes to... Hi Jay, how are you doing? Is this Jay as in Jay Cigars? Or not? It sure is. Cool. Nice to have you on board, mate. Have you had a cigar today? Or are you on pipes tonight? Yeah, today's been great. Enjoying the weather. And we're about to do the first smoke of 2016. McClelland Christmas chair. Good evening, Mr. Pipe Spirits. I've got a custom roll which I got from... I'm trying to remember who sent it to me. I think I got it from... what's his name in Spain? What's his name? Come on, you know who I'm talking about. Lumo. What's his name? Can't remember his name. Let me see if I can find his name. Alfonso, was it? Or something like that? Alberto, isn't it? It is Alberto, I think. Alberto. Yeah, Cigar Shop Lumo. Alberto Lucas. Alberto Lucas. So I think he sent me. Yeah, exactly. I've been buying cigars from him for quite a while now, and it was the first time he sent me anything gratis, and it was that was a single Pyramides. It was an Italian accent. I'm sorry. Okay, let me get my lisp on. Hold on. Let me just get my lisp on. Alberto Lucas. What's his name? Hang on. What's the rest of his name? Exactly. Alberto Lucas Arenales. In Madrid. Right, something along those lines anyway. Let me see if I can find that. It's actually a beautiful looking cigar. Sorry for digressing for a minute, but It's a pretty big cigar. It's got to be about a 54 Pyramides. And you reckon? Look, I don't know if they're Cuban or not Cuban. I don't think it smells Cuban. The wrapper's got no aroma on it whatsoever. He says it's Cuban. It's a great looking cigar. So far, all the custom rolls that people have sent me have never tasted very Cuban to me. I got a couple of custom rolled from some guy, and he said he got them from what's his name in Australia, and he promises. And I got in touch with the guy in Australia. I can't remember his name now. You know what my brain's like at this time of night. Hey, pipes and beans. Anyway, so he said that they were definitely from Cuba, but to me it tasted like an absolute bang-on Maduro cigar from the New World. And I know a difference between a New World cigar and a Cuban cigar, and to me that was definitely not a Cuban cigar. Even if you take the Cuban Maduros, which I generally don't like, KSA, which one is that? Who is that? I'm not big into custom rolled, so I'm ignorant really on custom rolled. You'll have to educate me, Jay. I might consider smoking this later, but it's quite a big cigar. It's going to be probably a 6 or a 6.5 by 54, I reckon. So who is that? Where'd you buy them from? Do you get them from Cuba, or you get them from somewhere in Europe? Or is that trade secrets? Sounds like the Trinidads from Cuba times, when they were giving those out. Right, which pipe are you talking about, Maui? Yeah, fair enough. They're not that hard to get in America, although people say that they are, but you can get them. And there's plenty of people you can get them from online. Maui, which pipe are you talking about? This one? At the moment, this is one of my favourite pipes. This is a Bentley pipe by Former. This is a joint effort by Hans Former and Bentley Pipes. I don't know if Bentley is possibly one of the sub-brands of Hans Former, I'm not sure. But it's a superb pipe. Smokes fantastically. It's one of my best smokers. I bought this on eBay for a pretty good price. It's got some nice grain on it. Who have you emailed, John? Generally speaking, they only order enough for, you know, firm orders, so they know that they're going to get paid. So it's unlikely that they'll have, but you never know. It's very possible. It's worth asking. I'll be there. Who, Mike Billington? Oh, you're talking about the UK PTC. No, you can still order that. Sorry, I got confused with the Pipe Club of London. Yeah, no, definitely. You speak to Mike Billington. I haven't ordered one so far. got keeping my finances close to my hip. Well, I'm trying to anyway. I haven't had a hard castle yet. That's also a sub Dunhill sub brand, isn't it? With Parker. Okie dokie, let's get this lit. Just going to rinse my mouth a little bit with some water. I don't think I've tried the early morning pipe. I did try, I don't think I've tried the nighttime one. My brain is definitely not working today. I've tried 965 and I didn't like that. I do have a tin sitting in my cellar at the moment, but that's just aging really. I haven't tried it with a filter either, so it's possible that I'll enjoy it more. I'll be honest with you, until I started using a filter, I didn't like any Dunhill blends, not a single one. I don't like their Englishes generally, but with a filter now I am enjoying the Virginias and the Vapors, although I have, well, mainly the Vapors. I haven't tried an Elizabethan yet, I haven't tried Royal Yachts. I've tried them all before, but not since using the filter. Has anybody tried Ye Old Sign? Hey Gary. Well, this 2016 blend is a much more, to me so far, a very classic Virginia flavour. Oh right, so yours must be quite old there, Tree, if that's one of those. I did have a tin of aperitif, but never tried it. I can't remember if I kept it or if I gifted it to somebody, I don't remember. I'll have to check in my drawer. I don't think I still have it, because I recently put all my tobaccos away in this set of drawers that I made a couple of weeks back. I did smoke BB, whatever it's called. It used to be called Baby's Bottom. When I first bought that, I tried very hard to like that, and I did smoke it for a bit, but it didn't really last with me for a long time. Yeah. Yes, it is a Latakia blend, yeah. Yeah, it's called that here. Yeah, definitely is. They had to change the Baby's Bottom. It was not politically correct. Hey, George. Gubilio Doro, never heard of that. Well, we're just getting into this bowl of 2016. Interesting. I think it's there's a little bit more zest and spiciness to it compared to the 2017. The 40th anniversary still, for me, beats them. There's a nice sweetness to this 2016 blend. Wow, lucky man tree. Was that also a car boot find? Wow, you've got some good tobacco-based stalls up in your way, in the car boots. I was kind of thinking of going to one this bank holiday, but so far I haven't looked it up and done any research to see if I can find any relatively nearby. Yeah, it definitely does. What's your car boot sale called, Tree? Might have to do a search on it and see how far it is from me. Or is that a trade secret? Mm. So what's your car boot sale called? Or are you not saying? Well, really getting into this bowl now of 2016 16 Christmas cheer. And this is actually developing into, sure you can, Quaker, developing into a very, very nice bowl. It's got a lot of tang to it. It's spicy, it's rich. It's a little bit more on the sort of zesty side of things, but it's got enough depth to it to really make it very enjoyable. Really, very good. It's better than the 17 to me, on first impressions. What time do they open and close their tree? Cool. Which politics are we talking about? I don't think I've seen any of it. Actually, I think I did see something about that, but I didn't see a lot. I might have seen one post about it. But it's pretty par for the course in America. Although in the UK, some people get very touchy about that. I know that in the UK TPC, you're not allowed to post pictures of cigars. People get very offended if you post a picture of cigars. It's only pipes and pipe tobaccos. And recently I posted a picture of the pipe I was smoking, and there was a cigar in the picture as well. And I kind of half did it deliberately, and somebody piped up, excuse the pun, and said, "Oi, what's going on here?" And I said, I knew somebody would pick it up. But the mods let it go, didn't have any complaints. Well, I could see why people would get, I wouldn't say offended, but I could see why people would say that you're mixing two hobbies. If it's an exclusively pipe smoking forum, if it gets out of hand, I could understand people getting bothered by it. But the odd picture here or there with a gun on it, or something other than a pipe, I can't see why it would drive people mad. Yeah, I think that's logical. If people want to have, show off their guns, then go to gun groups. But again, I don't think it's the end of the world, the odd picture here or there, but if it was getting out of hand, then I can understand it. I think that people are starting to worry about controls on Facebook, and I'm sure that will come at some point. There's a lot of people are claiming, at least, that there's a lot of filtration, unwanted filtration on YouTube. I've heard stories of people having their tobacco-related videos taken down, and as we get more and more politically correct, smoking is certainly one of those high up the list. So I could see that if people were running a channel which had guns and tobacco on it, guns even in America where it's not an issue in most states, it's still a very controversial topic. So I suppose they could get worried that their channel would get affected if they have too much of that kind of stuff on it. Well, it's very possible that for some people guns are a display of insecurity, but I do think that Americans, and this is just a personal opinion, so if you're American and you don't agree, that's fine, but just my own observation is that Americans, their right to tote a gun and their flag, their complete devotion to the flag are almost cult-like status, guns and the flag and the army. And people get very obsessed with it. It's almost like a religion, and people get very upset when you start to talk about their guns or try to limit their rights in relation to guns. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Quaker. Like I said, all in moderation, everything in moderation. The odd picture here or there with a gun in it is not the end of the world. I think most people are made of sterner stuff that they're going to get deeply offended by the odd picture, but where it gets out of hand, I can perfectly understand it, that they want to control that. And at the end of the day, like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, it's your choice. Nobody's forcing you to be subscribed to a particular channel. And if the mods of that particular Facebook group are not happy with it, they have to set those rules. And if the rules are broken, they can remove them. I remember on the YTPC there was a while back a whole drama, if you like, about people's content and the quality of people's content. And people got very personal about it sometimes, and I just think it's all ridiculous. It's a free-for-all, you know. I always find it laughable that people assume that they have a right to tell you how to run your channel. It's just, I find it so hilarious. I mentioned it the other day. Somebody complained that I had a sale video on my channel. And I said, fine, go tune into somebody else. No biggie. Will I travel to the Chicago Pipe Show? Well, take the word Chicago out, and I would say yes. Will I go to a pipe show generally? Most definitely. But would I travel to Chicago for it? All that expense, long travel? I'd love to go, but whether it would actually happen or not, it's quite unlikely for me. I don't mind flying too much, but I don't like really long flights. And Chicago, I don't know how long it is. It's probably 8 or 9 hours or something like that. And I'm okay with a couple of hours in Europe. I've gone to America in the past. Gary, I know I follow it quite as closely as I can. I love watching the videos on the IG poster on Chicagoland, as they call it, pipe show, but going there is a different matter. Yeah, I mean, there's no shortage of pipe vendors here in Europe. Perhaps we don't get the luxury of a huge accumulation of carvers under one roof, but there's no shortage. You can get a good any kind of style of pipe that you want. You can buy them online from America, or you can buy from Danish Pipe Shop. You can buy from Alpesia. They've all, they've got a really good range. Yeah, plenty of people go. Ian Walker, I just spoke to Ian on, when was it? I spoke to him on either Wednesday or Thursday. And he was off to the pipe show. I asked him how many he goes to. And he says he goes to 3 shows a year. So he goes to the Chicago one, so he should be there. I didn't realise Jimmy Craig was still carving for Ashton. Well, there is a decent output of Ashton cigars, but I just assumed that there was a whole group of people carving there now. Whereabouts are you based, Gary? Yeah, I saw Berg's video and it kind of made me drunk a little bit. So how far are you from Chicago, Gary? Well, that's where I got these tins from. It was from Crappy Pipes. Lady Briar, if you've heard of her. She's a carver. She posts on IG and Facebook. She does these long pencil-thin shank pipes. And her husband, his company is called Crappy Pipes. And he sells a bunch of pipes. And he also had a load of tobacco, which he posted on IG, which he was taking to a load of McClelland tobacco, which he was taking to the show. And I contacted him and I bought a few tins of him. Not cheap, but with the exchange rate at the moment, it wasn't terrible. Works out about £35 a tin for 100 grams, which is not bad. You'd pay close on to that here. That's a shame, pipe and beans. That's a big shame. Have you ever been before? Yes, Quaker, I am planning to. Whether I'll actually make it or not is another matter. I did try to go last year and I tried to go the year before, and I got booked up with work very close to them, date-wise, and I didn't manage to go. At the moment my date is clear, so I am hoping to go. Well, you know what we say, family first. Well, I have to say that this 2016 for me is better than the 17. Let's see if this is any different. Proud to offer 2016 Christmas cheer pipe tobacco, an exceptionally fine vintage tobacco, hand blended and aged in pressed cakes to develop natural mellowness. The 2016 blend is made with a special selection of ripe red flue-cured Virginia from a beautiful 2010 middle belt crop. Superb leaf picked at peak ripeness. Naturally sweet and rich in oil. I'll definitely second that. It should age with distinction. Yep, I would agree with that. It's a very nice tobacco. And I hope to go, but we'll see how it goes. Obviously, my daughter's wedding is just before that, so we'll see. I'm not sure if that'll have any effect in it or not, but we'll see. What's up with your yabo tree? Camera letting you down? Hey Steve. I have noticed, Tree, that the refresh rate on your camera is a bit slow. I don't know if that's your connection or the camera rate, but do you use a camera or a phone? Tablet, right. Yeah, the tablet cameras won't be as good as the phone ones, I don't think. But nevertheless, we enjoy your videos. If I was to summarize this 2016 tobacco, I would say this is somewhere in between the 2017 and the 40th anniversary, or even the 2014. The 2014 I found was also quite a rich smoke. The 2017 I found a little bit mellow, a lot smoother and more easygoing, more for an anytime kind of smoke. And the 40th anniversary is quite rich and quite mouth-filling. This one is somewhere in between. It's perhaps veers a little bit more towards the 40th than the 2017, so it's a little bit past halfway between, because it has got quite a lot of richness to it. It's got a good strong Virginia flavour, quite grassy and like a sweet grassy flavour. And it's behaving pretty well. It took a bit of a while to get the cherry going, but once it was lit, I haven't had to put flame to it now for the last half an hour or so. I subscribed to your channel the other day, Pipes and Beans. I don't know why I hadn't been subscribed before. But I don't remember how I got to it, but once I saw it, recognised it was you and just subscribed, started watching your videos. I might have even commented on one of them, don't remember. It's interesting how some pipes get really hot and others don't. This one here, it always gets absolutely piping hot, and my cadence is not too fast at all. It's got reasonably thick walls, but this, it's obviously to do with the briar itself, but it's just amazing. Some bowls, this one here, smokes perfectly. I don't have any issues with it. But this one always gets very, very hot. And I basically hold it like that because the bowl is too hot. And generally speaking, they say if you can't hold the bowl, or if you can't keep the bowl on your cheek for more than if you have to take it away after a second or two off your cheek, then it's too hot. It's cooled down a little bit now, but it's a nice bucket, I'll say that. Actually, I'm going to have a look quickly, see how far away that is. Are you going to the car boot tomorrow at Tree? Hi Sad, welcome. Thank you for joining. What I would say from my personal experience, and I'm certainly not an authority on this topic, but what I would say is if you're just starting on pipes, is to go for a classic billiard style pipe. Something like that. Straight stem, straight shank, with this one is not such thick walls, but something with reasonably thick walls would be a good way to start. Hey Boris, haven't seen you for a while. There are advantages and disadvantages to different shapes. Something like this is, as I say, very easy to smoke. You're also, well, the reason why I would start with a straight is because until you get used to smoking different shaped pipes, until you get used to smoking pipes generally, I think you'll have an easier time with a billiard, because the most technical part of any pipe is the drill. And the drill, I mean, this thing could be all over the place. You know, you could cut it roughly with no shape to it whatsoever, but as long as the drill and the draft hole and the bowl is, the combustion chamber is true, you should get a good smoke. Now, the most important thing is where the line of sight, if you like, of the drill meeting the bottom of the bowl. If that's done well, then you know you're well on your way to a decent smoke. With a bent pipe, that's much harder to achieve, much harder to achieve. And most bent pipes, in my experience, are all over the place. Let's have a look, see what this one looks like. I mean, what you'll generally find with most bent pipes is that the draft hole obviously has to be, in order to get the angle to the bottom of the bowl, you'd have to be right over there. It won't be in the middle, you'd have to be right over there. So if the draft hole starts over there on that top edge, but your stem comes in over there in the middle, you've already got a difficulty with the travel of the smoke there, which could affect your combustion. It could start giving you gurgle, and lots of different things. So definitely at the beginning, I would definitely start off with a straight pipe till you get the hang of it, and then yeah, go for it, whatever you fancy. You know, there's advantages and disadvantages. We talked about it before. A bent pipe is easier to clench, to keep in your mouth. A short pipe, they are very nice, the stubby pipes. The only thing that you might want to consider is to leave that for the beginning, because, as you correctly said, is that the smoke hasn't got very far to travel, which means that it won't have a chance to cool down at all. And if you're just starting to smoke a pipe, then it could lead to tongue bite, because you're going to be taking in wet smoke, and that's, you know, could cause you to have quite a bit of tongue bite, and you might find the pipe heating up quite a lot. And I also wouldn't get taken in by these short, stubby, reverse calabash pipes. To me, they're just a marketing ploy. I don't think that they work. Not in my experience, anyway. I would totally agree with what Giri just said. 100%. I think you missed out the word please at the beginning of that last one. I've been asked that question many times, and I can't give you an answer. You have to try. Because everybody's palate is different. I don't know. If you like, have you ever tried any Latakia blends? Smoky flavoured tobaccos. Generally speaking, you'll find that Latakia blends will be cooler, and won't bite you as much. So that's definitely something to try. I don't know what kind of tobaccos you've got access to in. Well, I don't know about Amphora. I found Amphora was very bitey to me until I started using a filter pipe. Can you get a good range of tobacco in Saudi Arabia or not? Lane 1Q is a very good suggestion, Steve. Very mild and easygoing. I think it's very much Cavendish based. A Cavendish based tobacco with a light topping is a good way to go. And yeah, I would agree with Steve on that one. If you've got access to American blends, try some of the Boswell blends. Boswell's also very affordable, and if you can buy their stuff online, I would certainly recommend. If you want an aromatic, you got a huge choice there, and their blends are generally pretty good. Some of them can get a little bit of a chemically flavour like most aromatics, but they're pretty good. No Bite Delight is very nice. Chocolate Cream is very nice. Cupcake is very nice. And if you want to go English, there's always my number one, which is Northwoods. You can go for mild English to try it, to start off with. I haven't smoked a Balsa since very early on. When I first bought my Savinelli 606, it came with a little packet of Balsas, and I just used them. At that stage, I knew nothing. I didn't know the difference between them at all, if you're using a filter and not. But I'm a firm believer, if something works, to stick with it. And certainly charcoal filters will have the additional filtration, the active filtration, as opposed to Balsa, which is purely moisture collection. Hey Joe. SCTM tree? I know you don't like typing, but I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. Shortcut to mushrooms, right. That is very nice, yeah. That's from Just For Him. I don't know if they ship to the UK. Do they ship to the UK? Because the ones that I got, I got other people to get them for me. The stuff from Just For Him. Well, sad. I suffered a lot with tongue bite, and a few months ago I went over to 9mm filters, and that's completely changed my whole experience. I don't believe there's any mushroom topping on there. It's just supposedly got an earthy, mushroomy kind of flavour. I never got that personally. It's just a mild Latakia addition to a sweet blend. And you get a little bit of that earthiness coming through. I don't think it's got mushroom flavouring in it. I think it'd be quite hard to distill that kind of flavouring, unless it was artificial, of course. I'm trying to remember who got mine for me. My pleasure, Saad. Anytime. Are you able to get stuff online in Saudi Arabia? Right, I don't think I got mine from the Peaches. Maybe I did. I don't remember anymore. Oh, you're Q8, sorry. Okay, so definitely try some. Go onto the Boswell's site. It's boswellpipes.com. Like that, I've just typed. And check them out. They've got a great service. They do some nice pipes as well. They load pipes onto their website every Tuesday. And if you like different shaped pipes, then you'll certainly get different shaped pipes there. You definitely can get nicotine hits. I smoked. It may well have to be quite strong. I don't know. I don't generally get nicotine from pipe tobacco, but I did get it from Haunted Bookshop, which is renowned for its strength. I tried it once. What's his name? Sent him some, Eric. Well, this coming into the last bit of the bowl. It's still there, the flavour, but it's much more mellow now. Show you my favourite pipe. Wow, that's a big question. That's a toughie. And to be honest, it really depends on what I'm smoking, because a lot of my pipes are dedicated to particular smokes. This one is a strong favourite, which many people have seen. This is a Neerup Bulldog, and this is dedicated to London Fog. That's right, Quaker, you got it. So that's one of my firm favourites. This one I mentioned earlier on is a strong favourite. I use this for general Virginias and Vapors. I haven't got it dedicated to a particular blend, but it's a very strong favourite. My favourites move and change all the time, depending on what I'm smoking. The Parker, a basket pipe, 30 odd pounds I paid for it. One of my favourite pipes as well. It's just a great clencher. This is an excellent pipe just to take with you anywhere. The new Dunhill, Stubby Dunhill, is a strong favourite. This one is a good example, Saad, of a pipe which can get hot because it's short. But again, this one is a favourite because of its practicality. I just take it with me. Sometimes I even just pop it in with into the pouch, and I take nothing else, just the pouch with this pipe and tobacco in the pouch, and that's it. If I want to go lightweight, sorry. I usually take this pouch with me with at least 2 pipes in here with 2 or 3 different tobaccos. As I say, sometimes I'll just take it like that, and that's it. I'm sure you will have some Java in there. I've never tried it myself. That's also from Just For Him, isn't it? Java? The pipe behind the mug is actually an ashtray. It's a Dunhill ashtray. It's ceramic. I picked this up on eBay. I think I paid £10 for it a couple of years back, and it's been sitting on my table since. I usually just pop a pipe in it. Cheers, Pipe and Beans. Thank you very much for joining. Catch you next time. If you like big pipes, Sad, definitely check out Boswell Pipes. Every so often he does some really huge pipes. But Boswell Pipes are on Instagram as well, but they don't really, I mean, every Tuesday they usually will put up a post just to show people a picture of some of the pipes that they're going to put on that day. But you're best off going online, but they don't always have pipes on because they sell out usually every week. Occasionally they'll have one or two left by the time they post the next batch on Tuesday, but usually they sell out. Very popular website, and they've got a good selection of tobacco, a good selection of New World cigars there as well. I like that you can buy 3 packs from them. Because I mostly smoke Cuban cigars, but I do enjoy the occasional non-Cuban, but I don't want to buy a box. So I like the idea that I can buy 3 packs. I mean, there are people on Facebook that you can buy 5 packs from and stuff like that. But cheers, Giri. Thanks very much. Nice to see you again. Alright guys, have we had enough? Should we sign off? The cigars in London are an absolute rip-off. I really don't buy cigars here anymore. The only time I buy a cigar is if I actually go to the shop and smoke one there. But I now, I really don't. I used to buy the regional editions, the Great Britain Grand Britannia regionals, but they're ridiculously expensive. Hey Josh, how you doing? I thought I'd catch a yabo from you. Not that you have to or anything. Yeah, the prices are ridiculous. I mean, you're paying in tax here. It makes the prices double virtually. In Europe, you can buy, say, an H. Upmann Magnum 54 for about 14 euros, which is about 12-13 pounds. And here it's going to be about 22-23 pounds. So it's nearly double. No, it's not really triple. It depends where you buy. I don't know what prices are like in Kuwait, but certainly if you buy from places like Switzerland, which I do every so often, they're a lot cheaper. I bought some Connoisseur number 1s recently, and they worked out. How much did they work out at? I mean, it was something silly. It worked out at about £7-8 per cigar. Tree, what make is it? The Vehique 52, if you can get it, usually is about £60. Depends where you go. £50-60. Well, it sounds like you need to give it a kick up the aces. Cheers, Quaker. Great talking to you again. Thank you, Sad. Nice to meet you. Hope to see you again soon. Thankfully, Joe, I have no problems at all with the Boswells. I don't think I've ever had a package stopped from them. Cool. MD of the North. What does MD stand for? Welcome back, Maui. Wow, I've just looked at your channel, MD. I had no idea that you did a VR to me when you did your intro. I shall subscribe right now and I'll watch it later. We got a fair few reviews on there already. Wow. Brebia Latakia Flake. I'm actually going to watch that because I've got an aged tin of that in my cellar. And I haven't opened it. Okay, I'll definitely be looking at your channel. Cheers, Jim. Have a good one. Maui, this particular 2016 is a very, very nice blend. The 2017 I tried the other day is a much mellower, smoother affair. It doesn't have that tingly sensation, that spiciness, as much as this one. But as I say, this one is closer to 40th anniversary than it is to the 2017. You know, I've mentioned on my channel a few times about finding a pipe blend which kind of gives me the depth of satisfaction that a cigar does. Not necessarily the flavours, but the satisfaction. And these McClelland Virginia blends are definitely hitting the spot for me. Definitely. Which one have you got, Maui? Well, I would say, Maui, that like you've been hearing me say, I think depending on what your preference is, I think the 16 is better. It could well be the extra year of age, I've got no idea, but it really feels like a different blend. So depending on what you prefer, I can go with both depending on my mood, really. But I think definitely if I had the choice, I would go for the 16. Alright guys, it's 1 AM here. I think we're going to call it a day. Thanks very much for joining. I hope it was of some entertainment to you guys. You found more sweetness and marzipan in the 16. 17 definitely had an edge. Okay. I found the 17 smoother, sort of mellower, milder, and the 16 I find has a lot more body. Alright, good night Tim, good night Steve, good night Maui, good night MD of the North. Who else have we got? Good night Miller, good night Jim, he's gone anyway. And good night everybody else. Good night Saad, if you're still there, thank you very much for joining. Good night Tree, good night Josh. Thanks very much for the yellow. I'm going to watch it soon.